Are you ready to uncover one of the most intriguing criminal cases in history? Imagine two brothers living a life of luxury in Beverly Hills, until one night, everything falls apart. In a crime that shocked the nation, Lyle and Eric Menendez fatally shot their parents, Jose and Mary Louise Kitty Menendez, in their Beverly Hills home on August 20th, 1989. The brothers were arrested for their parents' murders in March 1990 and have been incarcerated ever since then. During their first trial, Lyle and Eric alleged that their father had sexually abused them, while separate juries for each brother listened to the evidence. They claimed that this abuse, which their mother was aware of, led them to fear for their lives, prompting them to kill their parents out. The initial trial ended in a hung jury for both brothers. In 1995, Lyle and Eric faced a second trial, this time with a single jury for both. In this combined trial, the judge restricted the defense's ability to present claims of sexual abuse. Ultimately, in 1996, the brothers were convicted of first-degree murder. Although the death penalty was a potential outcome, each received 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Lyle and Eric, who were 21 and 18 at the time of the murders, are now 56 and 53 years old, respectively, older than their parents ever were. Having spent many years in prison, they have adjusted to the routines and regulations of incarceration. While they haven't entirely lost hope of one day being released, they remain imprisoned for now. Here is everything you need to know about the current status of the Menendez brothers and what their lives are like today. Where are the Menendez brothers imprisoned? Lyle and Eric Menendez requested to be housed in the same prison when their sentences began in 1996. However, at the time, prison authorities opted to separate individuals who had committed crimes together. Additionally, a detective involved in the case warned that the brothers might plan an escape if kept together. Over the years, Lyle persistently petitioned to be placed closer to his brother. On February 22, 2018, he was transferred from Mule Creek State Prison in Northern California to the Richard G. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego, where Eric had been incarcerated since 2013. Initially, Lyle was housed in a different unit from Eric at Donovan. However, on April 4, 2018, prison officials moved Eric to the same unit as Lyle. According to Robert Rand, a journalist who keeps in contact with the Menendez brothers and their family, the two immediately broke down in tears upon seeing each other for the first time since 1996. Previously limited to communicating through letters, the brothers can now spend time together during exercise, recreation, and meals. How is life in prison for the Menendez brothers? The notoriety of the Menendez brothers has drawn the attention of other inmates. In 2005, Eric told People magazine, "I've gotten into fights, a lot of fights, but I never fight first. You have to learn to be smart. There's a constant state of fear that exists as background noise. You always have to be aware of who's around you. You constantly have to sharpen your survival instincts." That said, Lyle and Eric have not been regular troublemakers behind bars. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation told Biography.com via email, during his incarceration, Eric Menendez has had 2 serious rule violations. Joseph Lyle Menendez has had no rule violation. Thanks to their good behavior and participation in jobs and classes in prison, Eric and Lyle now reside in a non-designated programming facility at Donovan. This unit, known as Echo Yard, offers inmates more freedom and access to rehabilitative and educational programming. In Echo Yard, prisoners can take yoga and art classes, study various academic subjects, and join groups that address issues like anger management or alcoholism. Though Echo Yard is less restrictive, it is still part of a prison. Inmates must report for regular formal counts. Lyle and Eric live in different dormitories along with other inmates, with these cells being locked at night starting from 9 p.m. What interests have the Menendez brothers developed in prison? Eric has worked with inmates with terminal illnesses. He has also developed an interest in meditation and has taught classes on religion. In 2018, his aunt told ABC News, "Eric was really ensuring that the prisoners knew there's a God who loves us. That was wonderful for me because he never got that at home." Eric has also spent time painting in prison. Together, Eric and Lyle devised a plan to paint a mural on the concrete walls around the Echo Yard. Lyle served in the inmate government for 15 years at Mule Creek State Prison. According to Robert Rand, Lyle has been involved in prison reform, an interest that Eric shares as well. Both brothers have offered support and guidance to people who experience childhood sexual abuse. How do the Menendez brothers maintain contact with friends and family? Eric and Lyle are classified as group of prisoners, which grants them more privileges for receiving visits and making phone calls within the California prison system. For most of their incarceration, making phone calls from prison was expensive, but as of January 2023, phone calls have become free for inmates and their families. The state of California began providing tablets to inmates in August 2021, but these devices only reached Donovan inmates in June 2023. The tablets do not allow access to social media or internet browsers. Still, inmates can read magazines and keep up with the news. Prisoners can maintain contact with approved contacts through these tablets. In addition to emails and free calls, they have a limited number of minutes for video calls and text messages, with the option to pay for more. Lyle and Eric are married and met their wives while behind bars. Prison hasn't stopped Lyle and Eric from finding love. Tammy Sackerman watched Eric's first trial and wrote to him. The pen pals met in person in 1997 and got married at Folsom State Prison in 1999. Several years after they married, Tammy wrote a book about their relationship titled, "Why They Said We'd Never Make It: My Life with Eric Menendez." Lyle married Rebecca Sneed in the maximum security visiting area of Mule Creek State Prison in 2003. This was his second prison marriage. His first marriage to former model Anna Erickson ended in divorce. California prisons allow inmates to have conjugal visits, officially known as family visits. Inmates serving life sentences without the possibility of parole weren't eligible for these visits until the law was changed in 2016. However, the state still prohibits family visits for inmates who committed a violent crime against a family member, meaning Lyle and Eric remain ineligible for family visits. Lyle told ABC News, "I've found that I can have a healthy and complicated marriage built around conversations and finding creative ways of communication, sharing, without all the trappings that normally exist in marriage in terms of going out to dinner and having so much intimate time together and so on." Could the Menendez brothers be released from prison? Eric and Lyle have filed several appeals during their years in prison, but none have been successful and seem they had no viable path to freedom. Then, in May 2023, Lyle and Eric's lawyers filed a habeas corpus petition requesting a new evidentiary hearing or for the brothers' convictions to be overturned. The petition was filed after Roy Rosallo, a former member of the boy band Menudo, went public with an account of sexual assault that he says he suffered at the hands of Jose Menendez in the 1980s. In the 2023 documentary series Menendez y Menudo, Boys Betrayed Him, Rosallo claimed that Jose, then an executive at RCA Records, drugged and raped him. Additionally, a letter that Eric sent to a cousin 8 months before shooting his parents was found in 2018. Eric wrote, "I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in." The recent petition included Eric's letter and a signed statement by Rosallo. However, the overturning of convictions is rare in the judicial system, and the Menendez brothers face an uphill battle to be retried or reconvicted for the murders. In 2019, Lyle told journalist Robert Rand that the brothers are trying to manage their expectations about freedom. "We've seen a lot of friends get their hopes up with appeals and commutation petitions. They've marked off the days on their calendars. In the end, they are denied, and unfortunately, they sink into a deep depression." The Menendez brothers' story will reach Netflix in 2024. Over 3 decades have passed since they killed their parents, but the fame of the Menendez brothers endures. The first trial was broadcast by Court Eve and can still be watched online. People on social media platforms such as TikTok and Instagram have shared their beliefs in the brothers' abuse claims, including comedian Rosie O'Donnell. The story of the brothers has also inspired several movies and TV shows, including the drama Menendez, Blood Brothers Law, and Order, True Crime. The Menendez murders on NBC, and the documentary Truth and Lies, The Menendez Brothers, American Sons, American Murders. In 2024, more productions will focus on the story of Lyle and Eric. The second season of the Netflix series Monster is titled Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Lyle and Eric will also participate in a documentary for Netflix. Discover more about the fascinating story of the Menendez brothers by subscribing to our channel now. Explore the events that shaped their destinies and dive into the complexities of their lives. Don't miss the opportunity to understand what really happened behind the shocking crimes. Subscribe today to uncover the mysteries of the Menendez brothers.